I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Until they put English on their devices, this is probably the last time we're going to review an iFlytek. So why is that? Well, it has nothing to do with the quality of this device. In fact, build-wise, this is one of the best built e-readers we've ever held in our hands. The quality is ridiculously high, made out of a block of aluminum, flush screen and bezel, with a portrait layout ledger with built-in speakers. There's also a premium built-in leather case, fingerprint sensor, USB-C, and a built-in camera, which is really one of the only reasons we're going through with this review. So in terms of build construction, it's fabulous. Zero gripes. So what makes us want to quit reviewing e-readers and run for the hills? Well, you'll see why in a second. But first, let's look at the stylus. This stylus is a fantastic looking stylus. It's well weighted, it has a side button and an eraser that is very high quality actually. The nibs look like they're the standard Wacom nibs, but they are not. In fact, this is not a Wacom pen. You cannot use this on anything else, and you cannot use any other pen on the iFlytek. So unfortunately, the pen is just a proprietary EMR electromagnetic resonance that doesn't need to be charged, doesn't need to be battery swapped. So in that regard, it is alright. They are also using a graphite blend into the plastic tips, so it's not the worst writing experience we've felt. Get ready for us to slam this device. No, we're just kidding. We very much appreciate iFlytek constantly sending us review samples, so thank you for that. However, enough is enough. It really is. With devices like manufacturers, that is, like Hanvon, Hisense, Bigme, even iReader slowly considering putting English on their devices, there really isn't all that much more of an excuse for iFlytek to be the only guys remaining. And these guys are the last men standing to not have any other languages, not even a toggle between simplified Chinese and traditional Chinese. It is just 100% base model Chinese. So yes, you can put your phone in front of the device with Google Lens and translate every single thing, but the logistics of that is just not feasible to constantly be bound by that. Also, you can't even turn this device on without a mainland Chinese phone number and a one-time access text message to get in that expires within 30 minutes. So, if you're thinking about logging into this and sending a text to your friend that lives in China, you better be sure they're by the phone because they gotta give you that text message code so you can put in to log in. So you can't even get in. That's the biggest thing about this. The second thing is that it really is just locked out. All of the things like the AI features with all the microphones and speakers up top, you can't really use. All of the things like share options, you can't really use because this isn't running any sort of Android where you can sideload in APKs. Just those. Just Gallery, WeChat, WPS Office, and I have no idea what those are. You can, however, sideload in your own content, so you can put all your EPUB books on here, you can use the table of contents, you can long press, you can do a lot of the things that really any ebook reader will allow you to do. So in that regard, using your own content on this, there's not really any restrictions because it does read a myriad of formats, including PDFs. We're not going to do individual sections on this because there's just not enough meat to grab on here for the review. You can take notes right away and turn pages with your fingers. It's honestly not the fastest experience, and there's no speed modes to really speed anything up, and it's just really not that great of an overall look. So to be completely honest, in terms of the content you put in yourself even, you're gonna have a troubled time because you really don't have a lot of physical space and physical capabilities to really cater this to your own unit. You're always going to be bound by just so many things you can't read, so many things that you're just tied to that you need a mainland Chinese phone number for. It's really not going to be an easy experience. It does, however, have some pretty cool things like calendar where you can choose the day and then you can use different elements to start writing. And I must say, this latency is rock bottom low. It's fast. Look how fast that is, and the eraser works phenomenally. this is a great eraser, and it's not sticky like a Staedtler tip, and it's super rewarding. You really know where you're touching on the page at any given time. And these are separate elements, so if you interact with the pen, it's going to think you're touching it with your finger, which you can also do. But then on here, you can't touch it because it needs the pen. It's a really cool divided application, and it's kind of akin to the Fujitsu app that allows you to kind of take notes on your calendar. Note-taking is really one of the only things we can focus on, and it's kind of cool. You don't get a whole bunch of pen options. You get pen, pencil, and fountain, and you do get a couple thicknesses as well, and you get pressure sensitivity. But what's really cool is they give you this top bar on the first page, so you can actually write what you want here, and it will label that as the title of your notepad. So that's really nice. I think that's such a good integrated thing, because now you can just go Peter Memo and it'll just pop it right up there, and then you can continue to write without that hindrance there. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of options, to be honest. Although it's fast, we'll get into that in a second. You do have some ways to change the back. You can do grids, you can do dots, you can do lines, etc. You do have some things here. If you go to add, you can add titles, you can add photos, text, and more importantly, the camera to scan documents, which we'll save till the end segment. For now, let's just take some notes and see how this is. That is so fast. That is very, very fast. There wasn't any hesitation. There was never a feeling of this thing can't handle it. It is spot on when it comes to the overall. Look at that. That is so quick. And it gives you a decent amount of feedback in the pencil because of the graphite nib that you get a little bit of resistance. I would have liked to have it feel a little more sandpapery, maybe a 2000, 4000 grit. It is still a little glidey, but you do get an audible feedback when you write on the screen, which does tell you that they did put some different composition in the tip and they tried their best at what they could. The camera is not going to be something you're going to utilize to get famous on Instagram, but you can scan documents using the note-taking app. Simply line up your shot, and you can even toggle the flash on and off, as it does have a flash package. Press the photo button, continue through the process, press confirm, and there you have it, landed right on your notepad. iFlytek AI Note Air Pro is definitely in the upper echelons of well-designed and built e-readers. I almost can't even believe how gorgeous this unit is. But that's where it absolutely hits a crash test dummy wall. There's nothing else. Unless you read, write, and understand Chinese, this device is painstakingly useless to you. The logistics of translating with a nearby friend or Google Lens or some other type of AR is just not feasible in the day-to-day use of this unit. It's so restricted, and it really is the crowning example of an e-reader that is not meant to be used outside of its origin country. For GoodEreader.com, this is Peter.